Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to have a little chat about the whole concept of knowing to change but self. So I wanted to bring a video up on this as I wanted to talk about it in more of a positive light, as I find that from my own journey and how my views are changing and how I am elevating in my own journey is coming into a more of a balanced type of way of being and of thinking and of accepting and just ultimately kind of living in your reality. So when I was looking at this concept, from my own perspective and from my own journey, I was starting to see it as more of a negative connotation. And the reason why I say this is because when we look at the concept of knowing to change but self, we are kind of actually looking at it in a way that we have to change who we are as a person, that we have to change everything about ourselves in order to attract what it is that we want. And when I look at this from a different angle now, it's a little bit negative in a way that it's not that we are actually having to change who we are as a person. It's not that we have to change, who we are in our personality, in our values, or, things that we actually have. It's that we are actually elevating higher in our assumptions. And we are elevating higher in our mindset, we are elevating higher, and then the change is kind of something that comes within us from a healthy kind of a process. So why I wanted to bring this up was because when anybody is thinking about manifesting a particular outcome, and we see this concept, knowing to change but self, we can be identifying beliefs, we can be doing everything right, and things can show up undesirable, and then we kind of take on this whole blame on ourselves that, oh, I have to change in this way, I have to get, identify more limiting beliefs, I have to do other things in order for me to be accepted. And that's actually not the way that it is. What it is that when we become more elevated on our journey, is that we are identifying limiting beliefs along the way, yes, and we are showing up in a different way, yes, in our behaviors, but it's more of a byproduct of the work that we are doing for ourselves. So what I mean by this is that when we look at our mindset and we look at it from each angle in our life, as we continue to think positively in this kind of area of our life, as we continue to incorporate healthy routines, healthy habits, our behaviors start to change as well too. When we talk about self-regulation, the self-regulation is there to help us with any emotional trauma that we are going through in our day-to-day life, meaning that things that we would get angry about, frustrated about, triggered about, we are becoming more aware of that. And because we're becoming more aware of that, rather than lashing out as, maybe we may have done before, rather than spiraling as what we may have done before, rather than giving up and thinking that things are impossible as we may have done before, we have the tools of self-regulation to come back into the moment and to actually just be aware of what's going on, because before we were unconscious of these triggers and we didn't know how to handle them. So that is kind of what we're doing as we're elevating on our journey. So when the concept comes up, knowing to change but self, look at it from a healthy perspective. Try not to look at it as something that you have to be a completely different person in order to experience the life that you want, because it can become a little bit toxic when we look at it from that perspective, in the sense that we feel that we have to be a complete, somebody that we're not in order to be accepted. And that's just totally not true. What we're actually doing is becoming more authentic and connected to who we truly are. And because of that, through our mindset, through our nervous system regulation, through our healthy habits and routines, we are becoming more stronger and confident and allowing of the authentic, genuine person that we are inside to be seen, heard, and validated. So that's kind of what it is. It's not that we're actually having to show up as a completely different person. Now, what I do want to say is that if you are somebody who is, you're manifesting maybe being rich, or you're manifesting a relationship, maybe you're manifesting being a wife or a husband, or job roles, or anything that you are doing, you are going to start embodying that way of being through your change of mindset, through your confidence, through your self-regulation. It's not that, you have to sit down and actually think to yourself that, you have to be a certain way, or you have to show up in a certain way in order to be accepted in this position. It's more about, who are you as a person? Who are you as a genuine, authentic version of yourself? And that genuine, authentic version of yourself is someone who is seen as invaluable. It's someone who knows that they are worthy. It's someone who actually has a good kind of solid self-respect for themselves. It's someone that has good values, and they hold on to those values and are not kind of swayed by those values. If it's something that is true to them, it's someone that kind of sticks to their truth no matter what. And, sometimes when we are looking at our positions, like if we want to be as I say, a wife or a husband or things like that, who you are truthfully is enough. And then all of the positive behaviors and the positive thoughts and the positive assumptions that you have along the way, because you are doing this type of work in personal development, and you are growing and you are learning, and you're taking accountability for your negative thoughts, or you're taking accountability for emotions that you are able to handle better, and circumstances. And because you are kind of building this foundation of strength, faith, and knowing within yourself, that is actually what is attracting then exactly what it is that you desire to create. I just wanted to do a video on that, as I wanted to kind of change the concept, the narrative, I suppose, a little bit, so that it can be seen in a healthy way, rather than thinking that, because I didn't identify these limiting beliefs, that's why this is happening to me, or, because I have more limiting beliefs to identify, that's why I'm going through this. And, that may be so, but it's not always the case. We want to be showing up in our world, creating our world with good assumptions, but also with the knowing that it's not always up to us to always have to be the one that is controlling our, others and everything around us as well too. It's good to see everybody in a good light, and it's good to have good assumptions and to connect with people on this kind of basis. But at the same time, if somebody shows up undesirable or is overstepping your boundaries or doing any of these things, it's not to take the whole blame on yourself and think that, oh, well, there's no one to change but self, so I'm obviously doing something wrong here in my mind, so I just have to start thinking of it in a different way in order for them to show up better, or whatever kind of spiraling and kind of toxic kind of way that, or unhealthy, I should say, way that we look at this on our journey. And I just kind of came into that assumption myself on my journey, as well, as I elevate and I think more and I become more aware of this concept of no one to change but self, because we do want to be accepted for exactly who we are, because who we are is enough and it's good enough. And also as well too, when we become more confident in expressing who we are as well too, we are able to show up for ourselves as well too, rather than thinking that we have to be somebody we're not and force ourselves to be somebody we're not as well too. So I just wanted to do a quick video on that, and if you have any questions you can comment down below and I will chat to you soon.